The Marine Corps' Advanced Sniper Competition at Quantico drew the best marksmen from every branch of the military. Sergeant Emma Hayes walked onto the range carrying a custom rifle that made every head turn, and not in the good way. The stock was painted with delicate pink roses, a feminine touch that seemed wildly out of place among the tactical black and desert tan weapons surrounding it. But before we dive into what happened on that range, you need to understand something. What starts as mockery and dismissal is about to become one of the most legendary shots in competitive military history. Stay with me, because the silence that follows Emma's trigger pull will give you chills. The whispers started immediately. "Is she serious with that thing?" one Marine muttered. "Looks like she's going to a garden party, not a shooting competition," another laughed. Even the range officer did a double take, though he said nothing. This was a professional competition, and every competitor had earned their place here through months of qualifications. Staff Sergeant Mike Torres, a decorated Marine sniper with 2 combat deployments, made no effort to hide his disdain. "Hey, Barbie, you sure you're in the right place? The civilian range is down the road." His buddies laughed, slapping him on the back. Emma set her rifle case down carefully, her expression neutral. She'd heard it all before. The rifle had been her father's, a master gunsmith who died of cancer 2 years ago. He painted those roses himself during his final months, each petal representing a memory they'd shared on hunting trips throughout her childhood. The rifle was a custom, .338 Lapua Magnum, built to his exacting specifications, and it could make shots that most snipers only dreamed about. "Nice toy," Torres continued, emboldened by the crowd's amusement. "Let me guess, it shoots glitter rounds? Or maybe confetti for when you miss?" Emma finally looked at him, her voice calm. "It shoots where I point it, Sergeant." "That's all that matters." "Right," Torres scoffed. "Look, sweetheart, this is a serious competition. Real snipers with real weapons. Maybe you should stick to whatever Instagram photo shoot you got planned and let the professionals work." The range officer stepped forward, his patience clearly thin. "All right, everyone on the line. This is a progressive distance competition." The competition began. At 800 meters, Emma's first shot hit dead center, a perfect bullseye. The laughter died down slightly. At 1,200 meters, she was still perfect. By 1,500 meters, she was tied for first place with Torres and one other Marine, Captain Davidson, who'd been watching Emma with growing respect rather than mockery. Torres was visibly frustrated now. His shots were good, excellent even, but Emma matched him point for point. The roses on her rifle stock seemed to mock him with every perfect shot. At 2,000 meters, the final shot of the standard competition, Emma took her time. The wind was tricky, gusting unpredictably across the range. She adjusted her scope, controlled her breathing, and squeezed the trigger. The shot echoed across the range. 5 seconds later, the target spotter's voice came through. Center mass. Perfect score. She tied with Torres and Davidson. All 3 would advance to the extended range challenge, a brutal test that only happened when multiple competitors achieved perfect scores. This was the part that separated the good from the legendary. The range officer explained the challenge. Single shot at 6,000 meters. The target is a standard E-type silhouette. At this distance, you're dealing with bullet drop of over 1,500 feet, wind drift, Coriolis effect, even air density. Most competitors consider this an impossible shot. The current record holder managed to get within 2 meters of center mass. If you're feeling the tension building, if you can sense something extraordinary is about to happen, hit that like button right now. This story is about proving yourself when everyone doubts you, about carrying forward the legacy of those we love. Share this because sometimes the most unlikely people are capable of the most incredible things. Torres went first. His shot landed 4 meters left of target, a respectable attempt at an almost impossible distance. Davidson went second, landing 3 meters right. Both were impressive shots that would normally win the competition. Then it was Emma's turn. She settled into position, her pink rose rifle looking almost delicate against her shoulder. The range went completely silent. Every sniper there understood what she was attempting. 6,000 meters, nearly 4 miles. At that distance, the target was barely visible even through a high-powered scope. Emma closed her eyes for a moment, and she could hear her father's voice from 1,000 training sessions. The rifle doesn't care about pretty paint, Em. It cares about physics, patience, and respect. You give it those things, and it'll do things that seem impossible. She opened her eyes, made her calculations. Wind speed at the firing line, estimated wind at midpoint, estimated wind at target, elevation, barometric pressure, temperature, humidity, the Coriolis effect from the Earth's rotation. She was calculating for a bullet that would be in flight for nearly 7 seconds, traveling through constantly changing conditions. Her finger touched the trigger. She exhaled half a breath and held it. The world narrowed to just her, the rifle, and a target almost 4 miles away. She squeezed. The rifle roared. For 7 seconds, nobody moved. 7 seconds of a bullet arcing through the sky, climbing, falling, drifting. 7 seconds that felt like 7 hours. Then the range officer's radio crackled. The downrange spotter's voice came through, filled with disbelief. Center mass. Direct center mass. I need confirmation on this ... Yes, confirmed. Dead center. The range exploded. Marines who'd been laughing at her rifle were now rushing forward, asking to see it, to understand how she made an impossible shot. The range officer was already on the phone, calling in officials to verify what would be a new military record. Torre stood frozen, his face a mixture of shock and something that might have been respect. He slowly walked over to Emma. That was the greatest shot I've ever seen. I owe you an apology, Sergeant Hayes. Several apologies, actually. Emma nodded, accepting his words. The rifle belonged to my father, Master Gunnery Sergeant Robert Hayes. He built it himself. Every rose on this stock represents a lesson he taught me, a value he instilled. He taught me that it doesn't matter what something looks like on the outside. What matters is what it's capable of when it counts. Captain Davidson approached, extending his hand. Your father was Robert Hayes? The ghost of Fallujah? I served under him in '06. He was the finest sniper and finer man I ever knew. I can see he taught you well. Word of Emma's shots spread through the military community like wildfire. The pink rose rifle that had been an object of mockery became a symbol of something deeper. That skill transcends appearance, that legacy matters, and that we should never judge capability by aesthetics. 3 months later, Emma received orders to the Marine Corps Scout Sniper School as an instructor. She teaches the next generation of military marksmen, and on the wall of her classroom hangs a photograph of that day at Quantico. In the image, she's holding her pink rose rifle, surrounded by Marines who'd learned a hard lesson about assumptions. She starts every class the same way, pointing to that rifle. This weapon looks different from what you're used to. Some of you might think it's inappropriate, unprofessional, or just plain strange. But it represents something important. It represents my father's love, his skill, and his legacy. It represents the idea that excellence doesn't have to conform to expectations. And it represents a 6,000-meter shot that proved everyone wrong. Then she pauses, looking at each student. The question is, what will your rifle represent? What legacy are you building? Because I promise you, if you focus on what matters, if you respect your craft and honor those who taught you, you're capable of things that seem impossible. Just like that shot seemed impossible until the moment it wasn't. This story reminds us that we should never judge skill by appearance, never dismiss someone because they don't fit our expectations, and never underestimate the power of legacy and love. If Emma's story moved you, if you believe that excellence comes in unexpected packages, share this with someone who needs to remember that being different isn't being less. In the comments, tell me about a time you proved doubters wrong or witnessed someone break stereotypes. Let's celebrate those who carry forward the legacies of the people they love, who honor their teachers by exceeding even impossible expectations. These are the stories that remind us why respect should be earned through deeds, not granted based on appearances.